My name is Jackson Pitsakis, and at 19, I bought this gym and completely changed my life through self-improvement and the things I teach with my own business, where I help young men do exactly the same thing that I did. Improve their lives at an insane rate. This is how to fix your life before it's too late. So I've now got 2 businesses. I own a gym. I bought a business at 19 years old. I've been winning boxing fights while working on my businesses, growing them both, and enjoying the process without falling behind like everyone else I went to school with. That's just a bit of credibility for you. It's not me trying to flex or like prove myself in any weird way, although it does sound pretty cool. There's gonna be 3 main things we're gonna focus on this video to never be behind again. You're gonna be ahead in your self-improvement compared to everyone you know, anyone close to you, and completely dominate. I just finished a boxing tournament as well, so while we're recording this video, I'm gonna do my first weight session back this year. So that should be fun as well. If you're anything like I was when I started my journey, you're probably consistently doing things you know you shouldn't be doing, not doing the things you know you should be doing, and not where you want to be at all. You've got a lust for more. You want more. Clearly you do. If you're looking at this type of content, you actually want more for your life. And for some reason, you can't achieve it. So today I've brought down to the 3 things that we're going to talk about to get ahead of everyone. The first thing is going to be constant reminders of why you're doing what you're doing. So you've got the hunger in you, and now that's just something that you need to foster, and you need to keep that fire alight. Just like a real fire, you need to keep feeding it fuel. One way I do this personally is a lot of journaling. Number 1, constantly write and create a narrative for your life. A lot of the way I journal is almost like writing a fiction book, writing what you want your life to be like, writing where you are at right now. If you can create this narrative for your life, it eventually becomes true. When writing a manifesto, what's the first key word in that word itself? Manifest. What you write will eventually come true. Another thing I like to do is watch documentaries. This is a bit of a homework assignment for you. Watch Alexander, The Making of a God on Netflix. This guy was our age, young, and he took over 50% of the known world. If you can't get out of bed to train, if you can't stop touching your peen, if you can't get in the boxing ring and box, if you can't show up daily for work and keep working every single day without getting distracted on your phone, who are you? Ooh. I'm keen to see my 1 rep, or maybe my 8 rep max. I won't go 1 rep max because I want to stay fast because I've been boxing really well. But I benched 110 kilos for 1 rep. I was getting like 100 for 8 for this boxing journey, but we'll see how that goes. You need these constant reminders in your daily life that you need to stay on track. You need to stay on track. You need to stay on track. That's why I write every single day. If you do that early in the day, it's good because it keeps you on track for the rest of the day. But also watching these types of documentaries and keeping them fresh in your mind and constantly learning about these successful people, that will remind you that it's possible, first of all, but also keep that fire fueled inside you that you need. So keep those reminders going daily. Action step, if we could turn this into an action step, would be definitely watch that Alexander the Great documentary. This is the only time I'm gonna fucking tell you to watch Netflix on this YouTube channel. And daily remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. This is gonna keep you consistent enough to actually make progress, because the reason people slip is because they stop. That's how you get ahead, is you don't stop. You keep going no matter what. Oh, bro, I'm feeling this weight. Oh my gosh. Don't stop. This is a reminder to don't stop. Jumper's coming off for this one. We'll see my physique, see how much I've dropped. I lost about 7-8 kilos since the start of this year. So I was still looking good throughout, but that wasn't the priority. It wasn't looking good. It was feeling good and performing well. I'm not looking too bad, hey? 9, 10. Woo. It's been a while. I'm gonna need a spot. I'm gonna die under this bar in this gym by myself. Still been training every day, just no weights. And that's the thing, that consistent habit that I maintain of just spending an hour on my physical every day, that carried through, and now I can still lift weight. Like, it still reminded my muscles, oh, this guy's training, but also reminded my brain, oh, I train every day. We got 3. 1 more. Ooh, baby. Aye. Step number 2. You need a constant reminder that you are fighting. This is a war. This is nothing to be taken lightly. Constantly remind yourself that you have something to fight for. Oh, bro, I could have made that look cooler. Something to fight for me, was very recent. It was literal boxing matches and a tournament that I was fighting in. I've had 3 fights this year already while working, while maintaining my business. Having that reason to wake up and train every morning hard as fuck and keep that intensity of life changed my life. It changes the speed at which you work, the speed at which you do things, but also it changes the tenacity and the focus that you have. If you have something to fight for, something really to fight for, not just something to like do, something to fight for, it changes how you show up, and you show up in a much more aggressive, tenacious way. I'm gonna go 15-second sprint, 25 seconds, just slow, picking it off. Simulate a fight. The beauty of something to fight for is it doesn't have to be a literal fight. It can be something to fight for. It doesn't have to be a literal battle. If it's a physical endeavor, I think that's good. Competition is the essence of it. You're competing against an enemy, whether it be the political and economic state of the world right now. Shit example. Social media influencers. You hate social media influencers so much and you're trying to go off grid. So you've got something to fight for. You want to stay away from social media. You want to stay away from modern technology. That's something to fight for. For me, with Polarize as well, so I've implemented this not only into my physical endeavor, but into my work. What I'm fighting is the feminization of men. So why all these young boys that I train that get into the gym, why they start off so weak and feminine. I'm fighting that reason. Whether you believe it or not, it's a true fact that men are getting weaker and weaker every generation. Just a matter of where you put that blame. Is it the schooling system? Is it this? Is it that? You need something to fight and something to constantly be battling against and something to wake up and think, oh, this guy is getting ahead of me. This cause is beating me in this endeavor. This business is beating my business. For example, in the gym space as well, there's other gyms around me that are trying to take my clients. Everything is a battle, everything is war. You need something to fight for constantly, whether it be a real fight or a competitive endeavor. Doesn't have to just be sports related. The tenacity at which you show up when you're getting ready to battle, there's a masculine spirit in that essence, and it fuels you 100 times more than you would be fueled otherwise, than just doing something because of something. If you visualize you're in this fight, you're not just doing business. You're not just training anymore. You're getting ready for war. And as a man, you're gonna show up different. You're gonna show up more consistently, which is gonna get you ahead of everyone else because they're just doing it to do it. Think about this. There's 2 people training right now. Training is just an analogy again. It can be in any endeavor. One of them is training. He's just having fun. You know these guys, you see them at the gym. They're either just tap the bag every now and then, cool. They show up twice a week. They don't mind. They just have some fun, get sweaty, leave. You know these people in business or in work. They go to work when their boss tells them to. They go home and forget about it. When you're showing up to fight, when you're showing up to be the best, when you're showing up to win, when you're showing up to take over and dominate, that's when you get ahead. Because you don't just show up. You come and wage war in a training session. You come and you do work relentlessly until you are literally ahead. You don't stop until you win. And that's the essence of something to fight for. Level of tenacity is going to be 3 times as high, so you're going to get 3 times as much done in the same amount of time, but you're also going to be training 3 times as more consistent. F that, 3 times is a fucking minimum number. You're going to be training 10 times harder, 10 times more consistently, because you know that there's stakes at play now. This is not a game anymore. This is a fight and you have to win. The last thing, even though it seems a bit woo-woo and a bit different to what we've already talked about, because what we've talked about prior was a bit more masculine, dominance, fighting, that type of energy. And this one's a bit more lovey-dovey. It's a bit nicer. That's because you need that balance between things. You can't always be in that masculine state. If you focus on something to love, you also have that downtime, that refreshment. One reason people get ahead and one reason people stay behind is because the people that stay behind don't have that refreshment period. They either burn out and crash too quickly because they don't have something to love. They don't have that fulfilling, loving, it can be feminine energy. I've got my girlfriend behind the camera here. She's given me that loving, fulfilling energy that has helped me continue forward without stopping. If you're always in that masculine state, you're gonna burn out and crash one day. And that's gonna stop you. You're gonna take time out. But if you have this constant reminder, something that you love, it doesn't have to be a feminine girl itself. It can just be a reminder of something you love, whether it be family, whether it be the cause that we were fighting for, whether that's something you feel genuine love in your heart for, you're going to get that refreshing feeling. It's almost like a wave of like a sigh of relief almost. When you come home and your girl's made you a meal, when you go to work and you work with people you genuinely love, or you do something that you love, you get that refreshing feeling. So it's a bit of a nicer note to end on. I know we were just talking about fighting and I was smashing the bag, but if you want to get ahead, you also have to not take time out, but have that active recovery. And for me, feminine energy is a massive one, but also just staying around and constantly being reminded, like we talked about at the start, of something that you love, whether it be music, whether it be nature, whether it be something that's relaxing, enjoying, and something that you feel love for in your heart. When you feel that emotion, that's how you know you're getting in that restful state. You need that rest if you want to get ahead. And when you're ahead, you need to continue doing these 3 things that we talked about. The reminding yourself daily of why you're doing what you're doing, feel that sense of urgency, having something to fight for, feeling that tenacity, that anger, that rage, that competitive spirit, that masculine spirit, but also having that feminine energy to balance it all out in the back end. When you have all of these things in sync, your life is going to be not only fixed a lot quicker, but it's not going to get broken in the first place. You're not going to need to fix it again. That's where a lot of people fall back, and you know that, especially if you keep starting and you keep falling off. You keep starting, you keep falling off. If you don't want to fall off anymore, you need to stick to these 3 things and remember the last one. Thank you for watching, bro. If you want to learn a bit more about what we do at Polarize, there's the link just below, but I'm not going to plug anything too much. I hope you learned enough from this video as is, but if you want to talk about it a bit more, go to that link below. Good stuff.